Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. So if you're new here, my name is Julianne. I am a Canadian. I am living in Germany, and this video is pretty special. It's quite important actually for me and my husband's lives pretty much. So today I'm going to tell you about how we save money, how we've avoided debt, and how we're able to travel internationally to see my family. And all of this is with not even a full paycheck. I don't earn any money, and my husband is still in school, so he's only earning like a portion of what he will earn. And so not only are we wanting to, in the future become homeowners, and we need to make big purchases in the future, but we also need to make big purchases annually because we live in Germany together and my family is all in Canada. So we also need to travel internationally at least once a year for me to keep my sanity. And these are some ways that we do it. Today I'm going to be telling you 20 things that we do to save our money and to avoid debt. So number one, and this is huge, is we have stopped over consuming. He was always pretty good at that. I not so much. When I was in high school, I got my first part-time job. I didn't have any expenses, and so I just spent money as soon as I made it. And I have finally cut that habit. I only buy what I need. I really think about what I need. And don't get me wrong, we still buy things. We still buy stuff. And sometimes it's kind of not so important and we don't need it, but we just buy less and we really think about, do we actually want this? Is this something that we need? The second thing is that we buy more used items. So especially clothing and home furnishings. Almost all of the furniture in our flat is secondhand, and we have gotten some really great deals on that actually. So the sofas that we have a regular size sofa, a love seat, and a single chair, armchair kind of sofa. They're all a matching set, and we got those for 200 euros. And they are sturdy, they are solid. It was such a pain to carry them up our stairs, but we know that they're good quality and we know that they're gonna last, and we got a heck of a good deal with them. Also, to go with that, most of my clothes are secondhand. My husband, he doesn't even buy clothes. We also just use things that are used that we haven't necessarily bought ourselves but have been given to us. All of our dishes have come from a family member. Our first few pots also came from family, and they weren't new items, they were used, but we've taken them and we've used them for ourselves, and when they're good quality, they definitely last. The next thing, and this is pretty big, is actually take care of what you have and make sure that this product can be used for as long as possible, so then you don't have to go and replace it. So I think this can be pretty easily done. Just don't be careless with your things. For all of our clothes, here's what we do to keep our clothes lasting as long as possible is we wash them. Almost all of our things we wash in cold water. We hang everything to dry because when you put clothes through the dryer, it actually wears them out quite a bit. And we only wash our things when they're actually dirty. So this may sound crazy, but I was watching this video and it was talking about how jeans actually aren't supposed to get washed that often. I think it was the founder of Levi's was talking about how he only washes his jeans every 6 months or something, which is insane, but apparently they're not meant to be washed that often and they don't really need it. The next thing is that we cook our own food. And I think for the past year, this has been pretty easy for us now because we have gotten better at cooking, and when we go out to dinner, it's just so expensive. Lots of the times we think we could probably make this ourselves for a lot less money. I will say that in Canada, going out to eat is much less expensive, but in Germany, like that's one thing that's actually quite noticeable. Unless you're getting tuna or pizza, is really pricey. And so we just kind of avoid that. We'll maybe go out for pizza every so often, but a lot of stuff we just make from home. And what else helps us to save money when we're cooking is we eat a lot of soups, a lot of pastas, a lot of curries, a lot of, you know, affordable dishes. With the right spices, they are delicious. The next thing that we have done to help us save money is we have reduced our animal protein intake by a lot. Meat is very expensive. It's also not so great to eat for the planet, and so being very conscious about that and also conscious about our money, we have decided just not to eat it very often. And finding plant-based proteins is so cheap. Like lentils, beans, those are like the cheapest things to eat, and they're protein. So why not just have the plant-based alternative using the same seasonings? It's just as delicious, I think. The next thing that we have done is we have greatly reduced our food waste. I was reading a statistic and it was saying that average in America, this was in America, but it was saying that 30% of food is wasted, which is a huge number. So imagine like having your grocery bill and then just like throwing away 30% of your whole grocery bill, you know? That is a lot of food. And so we really cut back on our food waste. And, you know, if we know something's going bad in the fridge, then we plan around this item. And so we can use it first so that we're not throwing away our money in the form of food. Another big thing that we have been able to do in the last year to help us save money is we have been driving a lot less. My first year that I was living in Germany, we were in a little tiny village. They had like one bus stop in the village. The connections, even to get to a grocery store, were pretty bad. And so we had to use our car then. But this past year, we've actually been living in a smaller city. And so we will go and walk to get our groceries all the time. And, you know, it's nice. I don't mind it. And especially now in Germany, gas prices have been on the rise. They are very expensive. So we just avoid driving when we can. And to go along with this, we are taking the train more. So when I'm actually flying back to Germany, instead of having someone come and pick me up at the airport in the car, I'm just gonna take the train because it's actually that much cheaper now. It's probably like half the price to take the train rather than somebody coming and driving to pick me up. The next thing that we save on, which is probably more in my department, is saving on beauty expenses. So I have not bought any makeup for over a year now, except for mascara, because mascara is the only thing that I only have one of and that I actually use on almost a daily basis. Other than mascara, I haven't bought any makeup. Another thing is that for me, my haircuts, I only get haircuts maybe once a year. I trim my own bangs so that they're not in my eyes, and that saves us quite a bit of money just doing it annually. And then with my husband, I am his hairdresser. So this only started because of the pandemic, but we couldn't go and get his haircut, so I learned how to cut it, and that's saving us like 20 euros a month, which is pretty significant, I would say, because he can always have a fresh haircut and it doesn't cost us anything. The next thing that we do to help save us money is we really have dialed down on our holiday spending. Typically, we don't really gift each other anything, like between me and my husband. We don't give gifts except for on our birthdays and for Christmas. You know, we're not gifting something expensive for Valentine's Day or for Easter or any other holidays. We're just spending that time together, you know? We're not using it as a way to spend money. And then also for our Christmas and birthday gifts, we have also dialed that down a bit. You know, we're not giving extravagant gifts. We have a budget that we stick to with our gifts. And oftentimes they're homemade gifts. For my family Christmas, we do homemade gifts. So I'm usually knitting something, and it will be a lot less expensive than buying each individual person a special gift. The next thing that we do that has saved us quite a bit of money is we actually put our savings into our savings account first before we have any other spendings. So it's an automatic transfer that when we get paid, our money goes into our savings account. And I think that's better than doing it at the end of the month when, you know, if you're just putting your leftovers into savings, then you might not be putting as much as you would if you did that first at the beginning of the month or like right after you got paid. And I think that's just because if the money is there sitting in your account, for some people it can be kind of tempting that, okay, I have this available money, I should go and spend it. But we put that money into our savings account first so that it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. The next thing that we do to save money is actually one of our long-term savings account is actually investments. So we are currently invested in clean energy and clean water, I believe. And then we're also invested into like a different kind of fun thing. I don't know this. This is more my husband's thing, but we're invested into this other thing, and it's like 30 or 50 companies, and that's like a pretty safe investment because it doesn't fluctuate as much because it's generalized over like a large number of businesses. And then for clean energy and clean water, those are things that we were kind of passionate about, so we decided to invest in that as well, and we have seen return on it. So actually last week we made 20 euros with our investments, which is a very good week for us. So the next thing that we have done that has saved us a lot of money is looking at what we have and using that first before going out and buying other things. This can be with, you know, electronics. Do we really need new electronics, or can we just continue using what we have? Especially like home decor stuff. For our flat in Germany, I was looking at getting this like wall organizer thing. It was made out of canvas, and I wanted to use it in our little laundry area of the flat. And so I was looking at buying one online. It was like, it was actually pretty expensive. Some of them were $50, some of them were over $100. But then I was thinking, okay, that's a lot of money. Let's look at what I have instead. And then I remembered that actually I have some leftover fabric. It's even a canvas fabric, and it's left over from some other project. So I'm just gonna be making it myself. I have the fabric, I have a sewing machine. I may as well use that stuff and save myself $50 to $100 on getting this thing. The next thing that saves us quite a bit of money is we are shopping a lot smarter. So you know how there's different tiers of grocery stores. There's like budget grocery stores, and then there's like bougie grocery stores. So we shop at the budget grocery stores. So for us, that will be Aldi or Lidl, and we get all of our like basic things there. And if we really need something that's not available at those stores, then we'll go to Edeka or like a higher end grocery store that maybe has more variety, and we'll go and find the special products there instead of just getting everything at the more expensive grocery store and our grocery bill being much higher than it needs to be. Another thing that we are doing is we are tracking our spending, and I think this is actually pretty important to do, especially because, you know, if you're looking at your bank account and your transactions, there might be things that you don't even realize you're paying for. And so my husband actually found out that we were paying for our bank account, and it was like a monthly fee, and we weren't supposed to be paying for it. It was supposed to be a free account. So he contacted them, and it was a mistake, and that has just been an easy fix. You know, it was a mistake. They were charging us when they shouldn't have been, and now we're back onto a free banking account. Also, tracking your spending just kind of keeps you more in the know about how much you're actually spending and what you're spending your money on. The next thing that we do is we use all of our items completely before getting rid of them. For clothing, we use them until they're worn out and we can't wear them anymore. For everything, even for cosmetics, using the whole container of whatever sunscreen before getting rid of it. Sunscreen or makeup or even food like condiments and stuff. Use it completely before getting rid of it, and don't just say, oh, I'm kind of bored of this, so I'm gonna get a new one. You know, we don't even really consider that. The next thing that has saved us quite a bit of money is we don't shop sales anymore. I was guilty of this before. I would sometimes buy things just because it was on sale. And then you kind of have to ask yourself, would you buy this if it wasn't on sale? And is it something that you wanted previously before you saw it in the sale section? Because really, you would be spending a lot more money if you just didn't buy it in the first place, rather than buying it, saving the 20% because it's on sale. The only time that we do shop sales is when we want an item, something specific, and we're waiting for it to go on sale just to save money there because we already know that we want it. And the next thing that we do is when we go on holidays, we usually go somewhere that is more like nature focused, and that's just because all of the activities that you would be doing there, or at least most of the activities, are going to be free. Like if you're going hiking or going to the beach or like a lake day kind of thing, those are free activities and you don't have to pay for them, rather than if you're going for a holiday in a city, you're gonna have to be spending a lot more money. So especially holidays like hiking trips, camping trips, things like that, you know, when you have your gear, get some use out of it, and then you really only have to pay for your transportation, maybe some accommodation fees. The next thing that we don't own that saves us quite a bit of money is we don't have a credit card actually, and I think that's just, it makes it less tempting sometimes when there's a purchase that we want to make but we don't have like the money right in front of us. We have to wait until we have that money, and also it just means that we don't have like interest fees to pay on top of the actual money that you spent for an item. Now I will say we do have to get a credit card for traveling, just because with our German bank accounts we can't use like our German debit cards in Canada, and for some things you actually do need a credit card, especially like travel things. But in the last few years when we haven't had a credit card, I do believe that it has saved us a bit of money. The next thing that we do is we use a lot of reusable items. So this is things like cleaning cloths, napkins. We have cloth napkins instead of rebuying paper napkins. So pretty much all of the things that we use for cleaning are reusable. We don't buy any paper napkins, we don't buy any paper towels. And then also just shopping bags. We never buy shopping bags, we just use what we have, because here's the thing, you can get free shopping bags wherever you go. It's so easy to get free shopping bags, so use them. And then the last thing that I have for you guys today that we do to save money is we meal plan and make shopping lists. It is so easy to get sidetracked in a grocery store because you see something and you're like, oh, that'd be so good. But, you know, trying to avoid that and just sticking to your list for what you have planned for the week, that can save quite a bit of money. And one of the big reasons for this is that it reduces food waste quite a bit. So we make a meal plan, like a very basic, relaxed meal plan. And so we know, okay, for the next week, we pick out maybe a few meals that we know that we're gonna make, and then we go and buy those ingredients as well as our very basic things. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and do remember that maybe if you're just doing like one of these things, you'll save, I don't know, maybe 10-15 euros a month, but I think put all together you can save hundreds a month and you can save a lot of money. So I think for us personally, we have saved hundreds of euros every month from doing this. And that just means that one day we'll be able to be homeowners and that I can stay sane because we'll be able to travel back to Canada to visit my family. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Also subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!